Hello and welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith. As we're just getting into the major holiday season of the year, my guests tonight are Major Fred Thornhill and his wife, Evelyn, from the Lynchburg branch of the Salvation Army. As one of the largest helping organizations, I guess worldwide, at least nationwide, the Salvation Army is always there to help people in need and disasters. And with this holiday season coming up, they help so many people in our community with food and gifts, and I wanted to have an opportunity to let you know what they do within the community. We're so glad to have you on the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, you all have just moved to Lynchburg with the Salvation Army.
That's correct. Just been here a little over 2 months.
And you came from where?
Macon, Georgia.
And you were with the Salvation Army there too?
Exactly,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been with the Salvation Army?
Well, I have been with the Salvation Army since I was 6 years old. I've been going to the Salvation Army Church since then. I've been a minister with the Salvation Army for just a little over 41 years.
And how about you?
Well, I started going to the Salvation Army as a church when I was 9 years old, but entered into the service when I went as a missionary to Russia in 1995.
How exciting. I mean, that's such a good experience for a child. With this holiday season coming up, and the Salvation Army is always there helping people who have no food, helping people, homeless people. You do such a wonderful job in the community. What plans do you have for this holiday season?
Well, of course, what we try to do is help the people that come to us with their needs, at the point of need, with the resources that are available to us. This year, of course, we have Thanksgiving coming up, and we usually provide a Thanksgiving meal for those who come to our Center of Hope on Park Avenue. And so we'll have a real nice Thanksgiving meal for them. One of the other things that we're doing as well during this time is providing coats. We have a number of folks, individuals. We have a Girl Scout group. I know the Burlington Coat Factory is going to be helping us a little bit later on to give coats out during the cold weather. With the weather changing now, they're going to be looking for it. Right. And we just received a large number of coats from a Girl Scout troop and gave them out. They're gone. So that's just one of the things. And continue to provide food boxes for families. And then, of course, with Christmas coming, we're taking applications for those who need help. We'll be providing them with some food and some toys for the children. Their children will be placed on our angel trees to be adopted by people in the public that would like to adopt a child and provide a nice Christmas for them.
Forgot about your angel tree project. So I mean, you really do a whole lot of things. Are the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, your biggest times of need?
Probably, although here this last year, a little more than a year, our experience has been an increase in those coming to ask for help from the Salvation Army. Economic times as they are has produced some really challenging times for a lot of people. Some folks who have been able to manage, but now they can't, and so they come to see us and to ask for help. But usually, yes, from Thanksgiving on to the end of the year, it does, of course, increase even more so. Yeah.
Now, the economy, as you've said, certainly has affected the community and people losing their jobs and that sort of thing. But how has it affected the Salvation Army and your ability to continue to give?
Well, I was just talking to our case manager this afternoon, and I was asking her that very question: what kind of an increase have we had? And she said, "Well, Major, before, whenever before was, probably over a year or so ago, we were averaging about 6 families a day coming in to see us. Now it's on the average of 16 to 20 families a day. So it has increased quite a bit."
Yeah.
So do you have any kind of estimate or projection for how many families that you're going to have to care for at Christmas?
Well, we can only estimate right now, and based on what was done last year, and this past Christmas we helped over 800 families. So we are planning for at least that many, up to at least 1,000. Now, whether we have that many or not, we really won't know, but at least we're planning for that many.
That's what I wanted to know, what your plans were.
Exactly.
You know, I just think it's an incredible need, and you fill that need. And one thing that I know for a fact is that you all don't charge anything for these baskets. You charge nothing for the meals that you feed these people. And you know, I think when people are down on their luck, even going to the food bank and paying 17 cents for a can of food is sometimes a stretch for some people. So I think it's wonderful what you do. How do you prepare for these holiday seasons? I mean, because you're constantly helping people in need all year long, and then here comes this extra need.
One of the major ways that we prepare is we invite people to come and be volunteers. And we get an amazing response from so many people. And especially here in Lynchburg, I think we've seen more groups and had more contact with people than we've ever seen before. And that's the main way. We have to install more telephone lines, have more people available to receive the calls for people who want to be volunteers, and just to organize that work so that we can make use of the most people who are willing to give their time.
I think it's pretty amazing the people in this community who
Absolutely.
will turn out and come out and help when they see a need.
Right.
So you do get greater individual and business donations.
It is just absolutely remarkable. And in my, over 40 years of service in the Salvation Army, this community is one of the most supportive that I have ever seen. Right. And I've served in Texas, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and not that they did bad, but this community is just so supportive of the Salvation Army. It's just amazing. People have called. I had several phone calls even today. I want to do this, I want to do this. What can I do to help you? We want to do this. What can we do? And it's amazing how they want to partner with the Salvation Army.
I know there was a tremendous outpouring when you're the Building of Hope, or what? Tell me.
Center of Hope.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
When that was in the process of being built, people came forward and really helped out with donations, and I think that's certainly
wonderful campaign. Just a wonderful campaign. We were able to. The funds were raised. The building was paid for. The land was. Everything was paid. It's all paid for. We don't owe a penny.
It's just the operating expense.
It's just the operating expense, of course, is ongoing naturally, but just here again, the community made it possible.
Tell me something. I know that this is something, since I was a kid, I've been so aware of the kettles and people ringing the bell at Christmas. How much of your funding comes from that?
Well, a very small. Our total budget is about $1.5 million.
1.678.
Yeah, $1.678 million has to operate the Salvation Army in this community. And what we raised from the kettles is last year we raised $230,000. So
about 13%.
So around 13%.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Of the total budget. Again, I've never seen this kind of response except here, and it's just
great.
Fantastic.
And this says a lot for our community.
It does.
Yes.
It does. Yeah.
One of the things, every year at Christmas you hear about a Salvation Army kettle that's received a gold coin that's 9,000 years old and worth a gazillion dollars. I don't think that's ever happened here, but people do things like that. They want to help, and
yeah. Well, the kind of help that we get is just as good as getting a gazillion dollars because they're there. They've got our back, and they're supporting us.
And I think the most people that help are those who have been helped before. And it isn't so many of the huge, big donations that, of course, those are very helpful, but it's everybody contributing. Even the small amounts add up, and we wouldn't want someone to think because they didn't have a gazillion dollars to go in that their 50 cents or so wouldn't be just as important,
Well, if somebody does drop a coin, one of those rare coins, into one of your pots, call me and we'll do another show.
Yes, you will hear me shouting from the rooftop.
It's something you touched on a minute ago, and I was going to ask you, it was one of my questions. It was about grocery stores and retail merchants and stuff coming forward and helping you, and you said that the Burlington Coat Factory helps you.
Right, that's just one of many. I mean, we receive donations all around. One of the things that's just recently happened is right up the street is the Dollar General store, and they called up and they said, listen, we're part of this community, we want to help, what can we do? And we mentioned to them that our pantry was getting really low, almost empty, of canned goods that we give to the people who come and ask for help. And so they started their own little canned food drive there at the store, and we've got numerous boxes and boxes and boxes of canned goods just for that one. But there's grocery stores in town, and again, many others. Of course, we work with the food bank and Gleaning for the, I think it's Gleaning for the World. I'm still learning all the terms.
That's what I was going to ask you, too.
So several others. The Daily Bread place.
Yes.
So we just saw their truck today. So they partner with us and work with us and make donations to us and help us along the way. So yeah, it's wonderful, the kind of help that we're getting from different places.
So with this kind of partnering, you're all actually helping each other. I mean, it's a community thing.
That's right.
Exactly.
Among the helping organizations.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's wonderful. You've brought some pictures, and if Phil, if you'll put the pictures up on the screen, we'll get the Thornhills to tell us what they are. This
is at our daycare, Noah's Ark. Kind of neat. And as you can see, we help the younger age children. But one of the things also that's going on this year that's new, we're partnering with the school system. They have some special needs children that they wanted to incorporate into a school-type atmosphere. And so they're working with the Salvation Army. It's something new, and it's working out wonderfully. The kids are responding.
An after-school program?
No.
It is a child care. They do have some students who are there before school and after school, but primarily it's a daycare.
It's a daycare. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. One of the donations being given to us, 9 chances out of 10, that's a box full of food. We receive a large number of donations all during the year, and we have to. We rely, by the way, our Center of Hope relies totally on donations to feed the people. We don't really have it in our budget to go out and buy food to feed everybody, and we do approximately 125 meals a day. And so we need all the donations we can get, and so this is an example of some of the food that's been given.
That's that many meals every day on an ongoing basis.
Right.
We're not just talking
7 days a week.
And that's above and beyond the meal bags that are given to people who come in. You know, there's grocery orders.
It's an incredible volume of people that you service.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, they're standing in front of this familiar kettle, the red kettle. And we'll be, go ahead.
This woman, short woman with the dark hair, she's our mayor. I don't know if you've been here long enough to know that that's Mayor Joan Foster. And she's very community minded. It's good to see her out there.
Yes, we start our Christmas kettles, matter of fact, a week from this coming Friday, November the 12th, and with our Media Mogul kickoff, which is something unique to this area. And another thing that I want to mention too is that if someone wants to, they can donate online. We have the Red Kettle, online Red Kettle. And just go to the Salvation Army and they'll direct you, and you can give locally as well if you want to do that also.
I think I just saw something about that on the news last night.
Maybe.
They were talking about.
They're trying to talk it up because it is pretty new.
That's at our distribution center at Christmas time. Again, these ladies, I'm sure, were working feverishly to get everything together for the families so that they'll come on a given day and receive the items that were being provided for their families to give them a nice Christmas. That's our Center of Hope. It's just a little over a year old, and thanks to the wonderful generosity of the citizens here in this area, they made this possible. We thank God first and all the people that helped that made it possible for this wonderful facility to be built and provide the services. What we were able to do with this building is to go from like 3 separate buildings into one building, which made it very, very nice.
It's a beautiful facility.
It really is.
You know, I've seen some of the inside of it, and I just think it's so good to have something like this in Lynchburg where people can come.
Right,
you know, I know that they have a safe haven and something that's a nice place to be.
One of the nice features offers that we offer to the public for help to those that need help is that we do have available a residence for a husband, wife, and children to stay on the same floor in the same room, which is We're the only ones that do that.
I was going to ask you, I know that the Center of Hope houses individuals and men and women in need, but I